so much again, sir. And now I would like to request our chief guest for the event, Honorable Minister of State for Culture and External Affairs, Meenakshi Lekhi ji, to address us. Welcome, ma'am.
Very much, धन्यवाद आदरणीय श्री सचिदानंद मिश्रा जी, श्री डॉक्टर माखन परंतपाई जी, श्री राजेश मिश्रा जी, शशि बालाजी एंड संपदानंद मिश्रा जी, उपस्थित मेरे सभी भाई बहन, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव, तिरंगा, और मैंने आपकी पेंसिल जो है वो बगल में मार्कन जी के पास पड़ी थी, भगवा रंग की, तो मेरे फोल्डर में ग्रीन थी, तो मैंने वो भगवा वाली भी उठा ली और कहा कि भाई ये मुझे चाहिए, आई होप यू डोंट माइंड इट, आई एम गोइंग टू स्टील योर पेंसिल आफ्टर इन्फॉर्मिंग यू. That is what this color does to us, and that is what Tiranga does to us. We all want to possess it. We all want to get colored in it. We all want to put it all over. I saw her sari and I was so enthralled. I think, maybe I should have also done something more interesting than I have done. But the fact is, तिरंगे का जो असर है वो हम सब पर इतना गहरा है कि उस रंग में हम सब अंदर तक लिपटे हुए हैं. लेकिन आज सुबह से मैं बचपन की कुछ चीजें याद कर रही थी. कुछ लोग मेरी उम्र के हैं तो उनको शायद तो समझ आएगा, कुछ लोग कम उम्र वाले हैं उनको शायद ये पल्ले नहीं पड़ेगा, इसलिए कहानी बतानी जरूरी है. और वो कहानी है कि कॉलेज खत्म किया तो 19 साल की उम्र में तो कॉलेज खत्म हो जाता था, और रोविंग माइक्रोफोन करके ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर एक कार्यक्रम चला करता था जिसके 50 रुपए मिलते थे हमको, और एक बड़ा सा टेप रिकॉर्डर भारी भरकम कंधे पे टांगकर आपको इंटरव्यू करना होता था. तो हमने एक बार इंटरव्यू तय किया लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर ऑफ दिल्ली के साथ. एक दोस्त थी, उनके पिताजी उस समय गृह सचिव थे, तो उनकी मदद से वो इंटरव्यू सेटअप हुआ. बच्चे कैसे फैसिनेट होते हैं चीजों से, तो उस समय उनकी टेबल के ऊपर हमने तिरंगा रखा हुआ देखा, तो मन ऐसा कि उठा ले, अपनी टेबल पे भी जाके चिपका दे, पर मालूम था उतनी उम्र तक कि ये गैर कानूनी है, तिरंगा हर कोई अपनी टेबल पे नहीं रख सकता, और बहुत बड़ा आदमी होना होता है जिसको तिरंगा रख सकता है. और जो कप प्लेट थे उसके ऊपर नेशनल एम्बलम एनग्रेव था. आज नेशनल एम्बलम हम सबको उपहार के तौर पर मिला है. तो ये बदलाव जो भारत में आया, मैं कोई बहुत पुरानी बात नहीं कर रही हूँ, मतलब है उम्र मेरी आप सब लोगों से ज्यादा, लेकिन फिर भी 30 साल के भीतर, 30-35 साल के अंदर ये बदलाव देश में आया है, जो कि मेरी अपनी जीवन के देखा हुआ पक्ष है. तो वो तिरंगा जो हम सबके अंदर तक समाहित है, हम स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, बच्चा पैदा होने से लेकर बाद तक उसको तिरंगे की आन बान शान के बारे में समझाते हैं. हम उसके मन में, मस्तिष्क में ये भरते हैं कि तिरंगा ही हम सबका सबसे बड़ा सिंबल है, और उसकी वही हमारी एकता अखंडता का प्रतीक है. एक प्रतीक के रूप में वो हमारा ईश्वर है. लेकिन उस ईश्वर को हम ना अपना पाए, वो भी आजाद भारत में, तो सोचिए क्या तकलीफ रही इस देश की, किस तरीके की नेगेटिविटी इस देश में पैदा की गई कि तिरंगा जो हर व्यक्ति के मन और मस्तिष्क की जान है, उसको हम नहीं समाहित कर सकते. और जब श्री अरबिंदो को मैं याद करती हूँ तो मुझे याद है स्कूल की ही बात, एक छोटी सी बुक होती थी मदर करके, इतनी पॉकेट बुक टाइप, वो प्रेयर्स, तो हम वो बहुत लंबी चौड़ी प्रेयर नहीं, पर वो इतना सा 5 लाइन 4 लाइन ऐसे पलट के रोज सुबह एक प्रेयर कहना है. वो भी संस्कार के रूप में हम सब बच्चों को पास रहती थी. तो संस्कार तो थे, मगर संस्कार को व्यक्त करने का जो माध्यम था वो नहीं रहा. और उस संस्कार को व्यक्त करने का काम जो है वो मुझे लगता है भारत के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हम सबको वो व्यक्त करने की एक आस्था और अवस्था प्रदान की। और वो आस्था अवस्था शुरू हुई 12 मार्च 2021 को, जब 75 हफ्ते बचते थे आजादी का दिन 15 अगस्त से लेकर 75 वीक्स बिफोर that let us celebrate Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, the nectar of independence. And nectar of independence means celebrating all that is positive, good, and makes us proud about our heritage. And thus, Aurobindo's reflections I can see in everything, because Sri Aurobindo took the discussion about Azadi at that time from the elite drawing rooms to the streets. That's what his movement was all about. And this is precisely what Prime Minister is trying to do. Not letting Tiranga being unfurled by a few elites, not making it just a honorary task which is reserved for some, but every individual, every citizen of this country who's connected to Tiranga to feel, I mean, I'm sure we all feel, but have the ambition to exhibit the same patriotism. There is no difference between you, me, and others. We are all just the same. That's what Prime Minister is trying to do. जो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने प्रयास किया वो प्रयास यही था कि आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव को केवल कुछ हाथों में, कुछ लोगों के बीच नहीं, बल्कि जन भागीदारी का माध्यम बने। और जन भागीदारी के माध्यम से हम एक हर घर तिरंगा, हर एक घर पर तिरंगा का मतलब है उस परिवार के हर व्यक्ति को जो गर्व महसूस होता है वो गर्व महसूस हो, और उसके रास्ते में आने वाली जो इम्पेडिमेंट्स है वो इम्पेडिमेंट्स को हटाया जाए। आप सोचिए, कानूनी रूप से मैं बच्चा थी उस समय, लेकिन उस बच्चे के मन में भी था कि काश ये टेबल से फ्लैग उठा के मैं ले जाऊं और अपनी टेबल पे जाके सजा दूं। अब आप यहाँ बैठे जो मेरी उम्र के लोग हैं, हाथ खड़ा करके बताओ आप में से कितनों के मन में ये बात आती थी? सभी के, सभी मेरे जैसी थे या मैं सब जैसी थी? We are all just the same. We all wanted to do it, could not do it. Imagine the pain this country has gone through. और वही तिरंगा जिसको लेकर इतने सारे वीर वीरांगनाएं शहीद हो गए। मां तंगिनी हजारा बुजुर्ग महिला हाथ में झंडा लेके गोली खाने के बाद चलती रही और शहीद हुई। छोटे बच्चे हाथ में तिरंगा लेके चलते रहे और शहीद हुए। वो तिरंगा जिसके ऊपर अनेकों कुर्बानियां गईं, लेकिन वो तिरंगा भारत के आजाद होने के बाद भारत का आम नागरिक नहीं लहरा सकता, नहीं फहरा सकता। और आज वो मौका आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव ने हमें दिया कि हम तिरंगा लहरा भी सकते हैं, फहरा भी सकते हैं और चेहरे पे भी लगा सकते हो, जो चाहे अदब के साथ, इज्जत के साथ वो कर सकते हैं। ऋषिवुड यूनिवर्सिटी को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ ये पटका देने के लिए, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि सही मायने में श्री अरबिंदो जैसे जितने हमारे हीरोज हैं आजादी के, ये उनको असली मायने में श्रद्धांजलि है। और उन्हीं को समर्पण के भाव से जब हम तिरंगे को देखते हैं तो वही समर्पण का भाव हम सबके मन में भी आता है। अब सब लोग श्री अरबिंदो नहीं बन सकते, सब लोग भगत सिंह भी नहीं बन सकते, सब लोग बंदूक उठा के AK-47 वाले टेररिस्ट का मुकाबला भी नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन श्रद्धा भाव तिरंगे के प्रति तो हम सबका एक ही है। लेकिन उसी समर्पण के भाव से क्या हम अपनी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में देश के लिए जी सकते हैं? Whatever we are doing, we dedicate all that to the country's well-being. We dedicate all that to the divinity which has shown us the right path. And I think Sri Aurobindo, when little bit that I know of him, I don't claim to be a scholar. I'm sitting in the company of scholars and I'm very scared of making any wrong statement, but nevertheless, I'll give my analysis. And my analysis would be that when I look at Sri Aurobindo, I feel uh, how many young kids would be here who will say, इतने सारे ये लोग IAS बैठे हुए हैं, कितने सारे लोग सिविल सर्विसेज ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, बहुत लोग, कम से कम घर में तो कहा ही जाता है कि सिविल सर्विसेज ज्वाइन करो, बोला जाता है, बोला जाता है या नहीं, हाथ खड़ा करें बच्चे, प्लीज रेज योर हैंड्स बिकॉज आई थिंक आई नो लाइफ, या it is said that join the civil services. Now here was one person who studied in England, who got into civil services, purposely did not give a writing test so that he gets out, exits out. मतलब वही बात है कि मेंस पास कर लिया, इंटरव्यू के लिए पहुंचे ही नहीं, गए नहीं, इसके लिए कि पास नहीं कर सकते, तो जाना ही नहीं था भाई, तो खाली टेस्ट कर रहे थे कि पास कर सकता हूं नहीं कर सकता हूं। ऐसे व्यक्ति जिन्होंने सिविल सर्विसेज उस जमाने में ज्वाइन किया और ठुकरा दिया, लंदन इंग्लैंड पढ़े हैं, उसका मतलब ठीक ठाक उस जमाने में अमीर परिवार के बच्चे होंगे, coming from privileged background, but the moment he comes back to India, he drowns himself as a revolutionary, as a person who was a fiery freedom fighter, and I'm purposely using the word fiery. He was not ordinary freedom fighter. He was a fiery, lit up all the time, self-illuminating figure, both symbolically, literally, and philosophically. A fiery freedom fighter who transmutated himself as an ascetic. So nothing was about person. Nothing was about my comfort, my life. Going back to the scriptures. So when the scriptures say, Gita, we've all read, little bit less more, we've all done those chapters. And I must thank Bharati Vidya Bhavan. आपके यहाँ हमारे बचपन में कंपटीशन हुआ करता था गीता के श्लोक का, तो थोड़ा बहुत हमने भी याद किया था, तो जो उस समय याद किया था वो अब तक याद है। इसलिए बच्चों को सही संस्कार मिलना आवश्यक है। तो आपके यहाँ एक डिबेट होती थी, अंग्रेजी की डिबेट होती थी और एक गीता का कंपटीशन होता था। I have participated in both at one time or the other. And I remember one shlok which says, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chinam kalidyan tapo, na shurshati maruta. And this is not just about soul. Think of it even from a scientific perspective. The perspective, if we all rise from the soil, we all become one with the soil. We are all bodies made of some carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, organic material, and then we convert back into that. So H2O plus C6H5, whatever else, and calcium to whatever little minerals, and we are going to go back. So ये देख के बारे में तो बहुत ज़्यादा सोचने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. The limited time that we have when we use this body as a vehicle of knowledge and use that knowledge for general good, for public good, that will be the divinity within us. And thus, I think Sri Aurobindo was one person who connected humanity, a human life, with divinity. And from that perspective, he saw the entire philosophy. The entire existence was viewed from this lens, where he started visualizing things, that there is life above the normal day-to-day existence. We all have a purpose of living, and that purpose of living is for the public good, and of course, When you say the public good, it's about national good. It's in the service of the nation and motivated so many people to combine the effects of divinity with nationalism and patriotism. So nationalism, patriotism, and divinity were not two verticals. It was the same vertical with two branches and support the entire Mahabharati. And thus, in his writings, he would normally use Maish, Mardini, Mahabharati, Mother India. Those were his writings because he saw, he viewed. I mean, we've learned it otherwise कि भारत कोई धरती का टुकड़ा नहीं बल्कि एक जीता जागता युग पुरुष है. But he saw this from the perspective of Shakti, from the divinity and Mother Goddess. Now, so many people constantly talk about gender in our time frame. But here are fiery men who bow before Shakti. In their imagination, Shakti is who they worship, and those are the traditions of India. And reaching those traditions, celebrating those traditions, is what Amrit Mahotsav is all about. Amrit Mahotsav is about celebrating ascetics and sadhus and rishis like Sri Aurobindo. And I want to quote here that some other great men, how they describe Sri Aurobindo. So if we go back, Dr. Radhakrishnan. So Radhakrishnan ji said that the most accomplished of modern Indian thinkers, and I don't think they are too used to that, most accomplished modern Indian thinkers, because you needed somebody to awaken all of us at that point in time when we had lost confidence, when we could not think that we can actually get up and realize the dream of free India. We needed someone to put that force behind that thought, and it was Sri Aurobindo who did that. And I'm not getting into all the underground movements which he started in Calcutta. So thought has to have an action also. With thought, actions. So and I'm relating it now to Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, because what is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav? Ideas at 75. Sri Aurobindo had ideas what he wanted, that is the idea of freedom. Resolves at 75. Of course, Sri Aurobindo had the resolve that I'm going to free Mahabharati, and I'm going to instill that character in these lazy people who are not even getting up and who are not even willing to fight. Resolves. Actions at 75. So all those committees which he set up, all the underground movement he set up was part of action, and creating that integral yoga, because everything is coming out of our brains. Ideas to control over our physical existence, to the way we have to have the physical energy to deal with things. So integral yoga was part of that. Actions at 75. So actions at 75 would be Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, plastic free India, and gender equality, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, equal participation, justice for all, having a woman that too from deprived communities and tribes who had been left out of the mainstream progress to become the president of India. All these are actions, and these actions are oriented to make a just society. These actions are meant to take India forward and progressive ideas. Achieving the goals. Now here, I feel Aurobindo's goal of free India was achieved. But what kind of society he dreamt of? What kind of India did he want? Have we achieved that? Tell me honestly, have we achieved that? Answer is no. So we needed someone at the helm of affairs like Mr. Modi as the Prime Minister of this country, who could instill those ideas back in us, who could tell us, look, we are at 75. We need to take stock of situation. We need to understand where we are going, and we need to take country forward as was thought about by our heroes. Those who sacrificed everything for the freedom of this country. For our future, they sacrificed their present. And are we doing enough to achieve those dreams? And that's where Lakshya Prapti, achievements, वो सब अभी पीछे है. और इसीलिए 75वें वर्ष में हमको तय करना है कि 100वें वर्ष में कहाँ पहुंचना है. और 100वें वर्ष में जहां पहुंचना है, जहां श्री अरविंदो के सपनों को हम पूरा कर सके, जहां हम आजादी के मतवालों के सपनों को पूरा कर सके, जहां हम जिन्होंने सर्वस्व इस देश के लिए न्यौछावर किया उनको याद करके उनको श्रद्धांजलि दे सके, तो वो काम अभी बाकी है. That's why आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव. Please take stock. Be proud of what you have, but at the same time, that pride is not good enough unless you act and get inspired to live by those ideals. We need not sacrifice our life the way these people did, all the hardship they underwent, but we can learn to live and do the right things for the well-being of this nation. And that's what Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is all about. And thus I remember how Sri Aurobindo at that point in time, when he's speaking to divinity, when he's asking Mother India, Mother Goddess, to give those powers and awaken the soul within every Indian to rise up. I'm sure something remarkable must have happened when millions and millions of people hit the roads. Something remarkable must have happened across society. And that's the spirit we need to enlighten again ourselves. And that's the spirit we need to generate within ourselves so that 75th year becomes a year when we rise up and in the history of India, people of India take charge with those yogic practices, that awakening that I choose to live for my country and do everything possible to live up to the dreams for which unsung heroes, the heroes of this country sacrificed all. And again, Swadeshi was spoken about by Sri Sachidanandji. And so, of course, Swadeshi has had a history. But in 2020, I remember how Mr. Modi also talked about the same. In one of his radio programs, Man Ki Baat, he spoke about the same issue, and he said, when from things like needle and matchsticks are also going to come from on a ship, what kind of country are we building? So this is taking a quote from Sri Aurobindo's Swadeshi movement and making it vocal for local movement. So vocal for local is nothing but a leaf from the book, the philosophy, the thought of Sri Aurobindo also. That when he's talking about Swadeshi, how that Swadeshi gets implemented in today's time and age. In today's time and age, Swadeshi gets implemented in the form of vocal for local, and same Swadeshi gets implemented further in the form of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So the history of India, which is a history of resilience. History of India is a history of resistance. Shashi Balaji was speaking about 1,000 years of exploitation and all. I would go a little deeper than that, and I would say it's not 1,000 years of exploitation, but 1,000 years of neglect on our part also. Of course, it was exploitation. If I'm going to behave in a certain way, I get exploited. It should be a learning for us also. Are we learning enough? Have we learned enough? Let's take stock of it. We got comfortable with our lives. We became selfish in our existence. We were too good. And I always say this, I said if India was such a rotten place, why was everyone coming? How are we working as a magnet for all the world? The fact so many people from cross cultures were traveling to India, wanting to control India, wanting everything from here means we were a country of knowledge and we were a country of prosperity, we were a country of skilled people. So knowledge, skill, all that we had. Then also, we got controlled. A handful of people controlled us. Something must have been wrong. And are we falling in the same trap? Time to think. Have we taken our independence for granted? That's my question. Have we become less responsible so far as our independent thought is concerned? Independence is one thought, but alongside, we have to learn to be responsible. And I usually say this, by Gulab, and I remember this as a young kid, I don't know why, coming here, I'm remembering all my past memories of debates and things are coming back to me. So I remember long back, I must have been pretty young that time, and there was this debate. India experimented with nuclear energy, and my final take on this whole thing was कि भाई कि गुलाब का फूल है तो अहिंसा परमो धर्म है और क्योंकि वो गुलाब का फूल रहना चाहिए तो मैंने कहा भाई गुलाब के फूल के साथ कांटा होता है या नहीं प्रोटेक्शन के लिए तो अगर गुलाब के साथ कांटा होता है उस फूल को फूल बनाए रखने के लिए भी तो हमको जो कुछ डिफेंस में करना जरूरी है वो करना जरूरी है अपने डिफेंस वीक रखेंगे तो फूल तो कोई भी तोड़ के ले जाए चला के चला जाए तो इसलिए इस सारी लर्निंग का भी एक इतिहास है we also need to learn from the drawbacks and maybe this is the time to take stock of things maybe this is the time to understand that this was a country which did great work when it came to martial arts. We were the ones who taught martial arts to the world. We were the ones who were physically strong people. And we just give up all that. For what? Maybe it's time to rethink the policy. Maybe it's time that, and that's what again I'm coming back to Aurobindo for the same thing. Sri Aurobindo said this. That you want a fit mind very well, you need your vichar, thoughts in the right direction. But you have to be physically strong to achieve that. You need to do yoga to remain fit. This body is a vehicle to carry your soul and ideas and ideology. So you can't take away the physical existence from your emotional and intellectual existence. And if you want to win over any people, civilization, society, all you need to do is take away their pride. The moment you take away the pride, the moment you've told them, taken away the confidence, you've subjugated the generations. And that's precisely what happened with us. We did not succumb to it. It happened with us. One lot of us cringed but did not get subsumed. And we did not get subsumed, and thus we had people like K. Munshi, we had Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan, and we had so on and so forth, and we had the ashram in Pondicherry. Because we cringed, but we never got subsumed. We are a story of resilience, and that resilience needs to bring back all the ideas at 75. Let's make all the resolves at 75, put them into action, achieve the goals for which our freedom fighters sacrificed everything, and achieve the goals while celebrating our freedom movement. All these heroes And when people say, "De diya azadi hame bina khadak bina dhal," I am not one who's for this thought. Because Gandhiji's importance cannot be undermined. For those times, he brought all of us together, he unified us. He changed the society. He impacted untouchability, so on and so forth. Many things he corrected. Swadeshi he led from the front. He was a self-effacing, self-sacrificing man. All that is given. But this country lost 2 million lives and above in partition, which happened on 14th August 1947. Highest number of people killed as a genocide on that day. This country lost 26,000 people as INS soldiers, whose names have been taken away. This country gave birth to many rebellious movements where women equally participated. Women like Neera Arya, whose breast had been taken off by the British. And that story is never told to us. She died an impoverished death in Hyderabad in 70s, 1973 or something, which nobody knew of. There are many such stories. I think India needs to relearn its history and get inspired to do better and better for future generations. We have the philosophy, we have the strength, and we can do it only if we walk the path as set up by greats like Sri Aurobindo and others who sacrificed everything for the well-being of this nation. With these words, जो अमृत महोत्सव चल रहा है और हर घर तिरंगा चल रहा है, उसको हम अपनी प्रेरणा बनाएं, संकल्पित हो और सिद्धि तक पहुंचने के लिए रास्ता चुने। संकल्प से सिद्धि का रास्ता संस्कारों के माध्यम से होकर जाता है और तिरंगा उत्सव को अपना एक संस्कार उत्सव बनाकर आगे बढ़े। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।